Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Wish You Luck back at it again with another YouTube video. And in today's video, I wanted to give a little bit of a breakdown on things that I look for when I believe a team is cheating. Before the game's even started, there are some red flags for you to be checking out. And I want to kind of inform you guys on what I see and kind of like how my brain processes, right? So I'm not saying 100% for a fact these guys are cheating. Okay, I am simply saying that, in my opinion, I believe them to be cheating. Okay. Now, there's a few red flags initially off rip. One of the big red flags for me here is that this guy has a 1.6 KD, which means he's slightly above average. However, he has almost 300 flawlesses. This also tells me that he doesn't purchase recovs because his account's going flawless multiple times, many times per weekend. This is just like a really big number to have too, which means like he's playing a lot of trials, right? So it's also, you'd be hard pressed to find an 80% win-loss ratio on a 1.6 KD. Now remember, this is all my opinion. I will explain everything that I'm saying. Well, if you take offense to this and start getting, you know, snappy in my comments, I'm just not going to read it. You'd be hard pressed to find somebody with a 1.6 KD going consistently flawless like this with the amount of cheaters on PC. So a lot of you guys always say like, I don't really see cheaters, but the reality of it is the higher up you get in your card, the harder the matchmaking is getting because of the card based matchmaking. And it's those upper echelon of games where you typically see a lot of cheaters. So if you're consistently not getting past like the 3 or 4 win mark, you're probably not going to run into as many cheaters as we do on the 5, game 6 and game 7 mark. Sorry, my nose is a little stuffy, so I'm like out of breath. Another thing that I noticed here immediately off rip is that this guy is playing well above his KD. Now, it's only 3 games, right? It's only 3 matches, but he's playing well above his KD. He's playing well above his KD. Now, this guy could be a recov. This guy has the potential to be a recov. 43 flawlesses, not that many. 66% win-loss, not too good. 1.2 KD, not that good, but he's playing out of 2. Now, only 3 games, but still playing out of 2. So it's slightly, it's red flags. These things don't tell me like, oh, they're cheating. These are just red flags, right? This Joff guy, now this is where it gets a little fishy for me. 20 plus games in a row won, right? Now they're not, in my opinion, in my brain, they're not resetting like 1 game resets farming win streaks, because this guy has a lot of flawlesses. So this guy cares about going flawless, right? Now Joff's a 2.08 KD with a 20 plus win streak and an 86% win loss. That's pretty high, considering they're playing with semi above average players, right? Nothing too crazy on these KDs for these guys to have a 20 plus streak on PC with no anti-cheat on Steam. So we scroll down a little bit into their stats and we see some more red flags. Joff playing well above his KD. You see huge KDs in their games, in their last games. So they're not win trading, right? You probably think like, oh, if they have high win streaks, they're probably win trading. They're not win trading. They're playing out these games. And it looks like these 2 guys, the first guy and this guy, playing the best. This guy is playing okay as well. But these guys are playing the best. These KDs are well above. They're inflated. They're all over their KDs, right? So we scroll down a little bit further. And another thing we see here is the Destiny 1 to the Trials of the 9 statistic comparison. Destiny 1, much harder game to go flawless in. Now, it's pretty hard to compare a 30 FPS console game to a unlimited FPS PC game, but just for knowledge sake, if you look at top Destiny players in Destiny 2, if you look at the top Destiny 2 players, a lot of the KDs were typically higher, lower, right? So like me, for example, My KD in D1 trials is like 3, or is like 3.7 or like 4.2 or something. It's crazy high. Trials of the 9, it's like 4.8, 4.9. Then in Trials of Osiris, it's a 1.9. So for me, anytime I see D1 trial stats 1.1, Trials of the 9 stats 2.5, this makes sense. These numbers make sense to me because Trials of the 9 was way easier, right? And then you see 1.6. So this is like, okay, these stats are not too crazy. He got a little bit better from D1, which is fine. That's normal. And his stats are not crazy inflated from Trials of the 9. So that kind of redeems him a little bit for me. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, maybe he is a legitimate player. Okay. There are a few red flags. There are a few green flags. So we're just going to see how this plays out, because his Trials of the 9 KD, which should be inflated because this had no skill-based matchmaking. I don't think it had card-based matchmaking. Like, this was pretty much like the easiest time to go flawless in Destiny. As you can see, his stats reflect it. Most people's stats reflect significantly higher Trials of the 9 stats compared to Trials of Osiris because the matchmaking was way easier here. There was also an anti-cheat here in BattleEye in the Blizzard launcher. So you didn't run into as many cheaters, and it was just easier. It was easier of a game. And this guy's KD went down for Trials of Osiris, which makes sense. So I'm like, okay, maybe this guy's okay. This guy was a 0.8. Then he became a 1.7. Now he's a 1.2. Pretty normal. These stats are normal for me. And then you look at Joff. You got the 1.3. It goes a little bit better, 1.8, which makes sense. And then you have a 2.0. Now for me, because these two time periods are so close to one another, this doesn't make sense to me. This is a big red flag right here, okay? Why is this a big red flag for me? Because Trials of the 9 was way easier with easier matchmaking with an anti-cheat. So if his KD was 1.8 in an easy playlist, and then the game transitioned from Trials of the 9 to Trials of Osiris, now this transition right here from 9 to Osiris was a launcher change, a complete platform change from Blizzard to Steam, and an anti-cheat change. We lost the anti-cheat for Trials of Osiris. There is no anti-cheat. The game's on PC here. I believe the game was on PC as well for this. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but like I said, if you look at most great players in Destiny, the KD is high, higher, lower. And if you'd like me to like break that down for you, I can, but you can also just go on destinytrialsreport.com and check out our gamer tags, look up your favorite player, and you'll typically see high, higher, lower. Now to see high, higher, higher, for me is a huge red flag. And this is all the information that I'm processing in literally just the fucking first 30 seconds of us matching somebody, right? I don't know. You guys be the judge. You guys can take it how you want to take it. The way I see it is this is a major red flag right here. These statistics are a major red flag, and typically when I'm playing a trials match, if I see this, I have the mindset of, okay, this guy's cheating. Now, I'm not going to include, I guess, because this video is way too long already, I'm not going to include the 04 comeback here. I'm going to upload the 04 comeback with a breakdown of things that we saw in the game from this Joff guy that looked really suspect as well. If there were any things, I'll point them all out to you, and then we'll also do a commentary over the 04 comeback. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this extremely informational video. Peace.